Here is a great winter project for you to start working on now that it's too cold to be outside. It is a winter quilted pillow, and I used all the blue scraps that I had in my fabric stash that you've probably seen in other projects, but I want to use them all up. So this is a total scrap pillow made from scraps that I already had. The only thing I bought were some snowflakes. So I am cutting my blue scraps into 3-inch strips. Now some were longer than the others, but I just wanted to use up as much as I could, and I kind of coordinated all of these strips, and then I went over to my sewing machine and we're going to sew all these together in rows. So I've just putting together and then going to straight stitch down, and I sewed them all together, and then we're going to go back and cut these. So I want it to look like a patchwork quilt. Now I am not a professional quilter. My mom certainly was, but I am not. But I love to make fun things, and I do like to make quilts. But this is going to be a pillow top, so I'm going to just sew all of these strips together, and then we're going to go back and cut these and then sew them together again and make a nice patchwork. So there are all the strips sewn together. Take this over to the ironing board, and I'm going to press open those seams and make it nice and flat. And iron is your best friend when you are sewing if you want your projects to look nice and flat. So I'm just going to press all these seams open. All right, over on my rotary mat, I'm going to use my cutter and measure this into 3-inch strips. Again, I've got this folded in half, and I'm just going to cut these in 3-inch strips, and then we'll go back and sew these together and kind of stagger it so we get a nice little patchwork look to our pillow top. All right, and then I sewed all of those strips together, and this is what I came up with, a cute little patchwork pillow top. And this is going to be the background for our birdhouse and our bluejay in our snow. So what I need to do is quilt this. So I'm going to be adding a thin layer of batting to the back and also a backing. So I just cut all the squares the same, and I'm going to pin it all the way around, and then I'm just going to machine quilt this little pillow top right on the sewing machine. Each little square I did go around and quilt that on the sewing machine so that each little square would puff out, and it turned out great. I love the way it looks. I just straight seam down, but I did go around each little square. It is a little time consuming. This project took several weeks over the Christmas holidays, whenever I just wanted to relax and enjoy a stress-free evening. I would go upstairs and work on this project, and it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to make some more of these because I love it. All right, now we're going to move on to our birdhouse, and I found this pattern on Pinterest. I will link it below, and I've got felt that I have got my pieces pinned and black, blue, and white to make the bluejay. I did create my own pattern for the birdhouse. I added some snow to the roof line and some snow that's going to sit at the base of the birdhouse. And this little bluejay pattern was so simple. I cut all the pieces out, and I am using Aleene's fabric glue to glue this together. I got that at Walmart, and it basically just holds, it's a permanent glue, and it holds your felt pieces together nicely. Now I did go back with some black embroidery thread and do a blanket stitch all the way around the bird, and that would help secure the edges. But right now I'm just going to glue the pieces together and make this bluejay. In my Pinterest fabric bags and pillows, I have cardinals and other bird patterns, and I will leave that link below for you to check out those. I really want to make some tote bags using the same bird idea So we'll look to that in the future, but right now I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there, and it dried very quickly, and then I was able to make a nice blue jay. And in this step I have my quilted piece, and I'm starting to lay out my birdhouse. I'm going to use some heat and bond and adhere that to the back of the birdhouse. Then I pressed it right onto my quilt. Then I just kind of laid everything out exactly how I wanted it. The white snow is actually 2 pieces of felt sewn together to kind of give it a 3D effect. And I've got some snowflakes that I purchased off Amazon, and these are absolutely beautiful. I will link that in my Amazon storefront. They're just gorgeous. I added some leaves and some little pine cones, and this is how it turned out. Most everything was fused on with the fusible webbing. I did hand stitch the snowflakes down, and I did some French knots over the pine cones to kind of give it a nice 3D effect, and then did some stitches along the leaves, and I hand stitched all of the snowflakes to that backing. So this is pretty much the finished look. I think it turned out great. It was a really easy project. I was just tickled at the bird how well it turned out. So now we're going to add our backing, pin it together, and then sew all the way around. I've got some beautiful velvet, and I'm just going to lay that right on top and pin it, and then I'm going to leave about a 4-inch gap at the bottom for turning. But first we're going to pin it all the way around, and then we'll take it over to the sewing machine and sew it. And then it's time to turn. You can see I've sewn it and I've clipped my corners. So we're going to turn this very carefully, pulling that top down through the hole, and just work very slowly and carefully when you're doing this so you don't mess anything up. But everything was pretty much stitched down or glued down, so it turned out fine. And here it is. I did go back and press it one more time, and now it is time to stuff. So I've got my polyfill, and I'm just going to stuff it, and I have a dowel rod that I use to push this stuffing all the way up to the top and the corners. And I didn't overfill it. I really just wanted you to be able to look at that birdhouse and the bird, so I put enough stuffing in it to make a nice pillow. This is going to go in my living room during the winter months, and I think it will be great. There it is, sitting on a bench in my living room, and I am so tickled at the way this turned out, and I'm excited to make more. And I'm going to be making some tote bags as well, so stay tuned for that. I hope you like this. Make sure to check out the links to my Pinterest board and my Amazon storefront for those gorgeous snowflakes that you can buy. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think about this project. I hope you all have a wonderful, happy new year. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.